Welcome everyone to Virtual Lock Training. I'm Captain Angela from Freedom Boat Club in Winter Haven, Florida on the beautiful chain of lakes. Here are the topics we'll cover in today's training. What is a canal lock and how does it operate? Safely navigating through lock systems in the U.S. We're going to take a virtual cruise through the Winter Haven chain of lakes and the lock system with the Lakeland Sail and Power Squadron. We're going to talk about how to safely navigate through the Winter Haven lock system step by step, and then we'll take a virtual look at locks throughout the state of Florida. So sit back and enjoy the training. Let's start by looking at this illustration. It shows how a lock operates. A lock raises and lowers vessels between portions of water of different levels. A lock contains a lock chamber where the water is raised or lowered. There are gates at each end of the lock chamber where vessels enter and exit the lock. These pictures show how vessels move through a lock. Think of a lock as an elevator for vessels. It can raise and lower vessels with a change in water supply thanks to the lock chamber and the gates at each end. This animation shows how a vessel moves through a lock system.
Navigation locks are among the world's oldest engineering feats, dating back to 960 AD in China's Song Dynasty. They function as marine elevators to raise and lower boats between bodies of water of different heights. In the U.S., there are locks in the Great Lakes, upstate New York, the Mississippi River, Ohio River, Columbia River, and many other regions.
Vessels operated by the U.S. Coast Guard and Army Corps of Engineers, postal boats, and commercial vessels including barges have priority over recreational boats. Check on special requirements for personal watercraft and human-propelled paddlecraft. Multiple vessels can use most locks at the same time, so share the space to save time and water.
Learn as much as you can about a specific lock before you navigate it, as lock facilities vary in size and operation. Nautical charts and cruising guides indicate lock locations plus length and width of lock chambers. Some locks have lock masters who have the authority of law enforcement personnel. Others are unmanned. Many operate on specific time schedules. Be prepared to wait to be able to pass through a lock, sometimes for a day or more, depending on circumstances.
Equip your boat with at least two 75-foot lines to moor inside the lock chamber. Have multiple fenders and a boat hook to prevent your boat from lock chamber walls and other vessels. Plan to go through locks during daylight hours.
Be prepared to attach the bights of your long lines around separate mooring posts on the lock wall. Station persons you have aboard your boat at the bow and stern to pay out or take in the free ends of the lines as the water level changes. Smaller boats with only one person aboard may use one long midship line.
Note some locks are equipped with floating wall bits that move up and down as the water level changes, rather than permanently fixed mooring posts. Certain locks will arrange for smaller boats to raft up together.
Contact the lockmaster ahead of time on VHF radio channel 13 to state your intention to pass. Usually there's a small bell or buzzer near the approach, or give one long and one short blast on your air horn to signal your arrival.
Make sure everyone on board wears life jackets and keep all passengers, including pets, sitting down well inside the vessel away from the sides. Any bump against the wall could throw people overboard.
Approach at idle speed and stop at least 100 yards from the lock to assess its status. Pay close attention, adhere to posted signs, and obey all rules. Listen carefully to instructions from the lockmaster and be alert to everything going on around you. Many locks have a traffic light. Once it's green, proceed slowly into the lock chamber.
Wear gloves to protect your hands when working lines and placing fenders, and equip passengers who will assist in line handling with their own gloves. Set your lines loosely to enable your boat's movement up and down, and put multiple fenders over the side of your boat to keep it from scraping the rough lock chamber wall or other vessels.
Position your boat to access fixed lines, poles, cables, or ladders along the wall to help stay in position as the water level rises or falls. Follow instructions on how to use these aids. Once your boat is secure at the wall, stop your engine and wait for the lockmaster to close the gates and fill or empty the lock. Use a boat hook to fend off the wall if your vessel starts to shift. Keep a close eye on your lines and provide instructions to your line handlers to make sure your lines tend properly and don't get tangled.
Once the water inside the lock chamber is raised or lowered to the appropriate depth, the lockmaster will open the doors and signal that it's safe to proceed. Stay clear of the gates as they open. Watch for the green light to signal it's safe to exit the lock. Start your engine, release any lines or handholds, and motor at idle speed out of the lock chamber. Stay well clear of larger vessels with limited maneuverability and visibility, and watch out for their wakes, backwash, and undertow.
Navigating locks is one of the unique experiences of recreational boating. A few simple preparations and the right equipment will make for smooth passage. Many lockmasters will offer step-by-step coaching to help make locking safe and enjoyable for both novice and experienced boaters. Always wear life jackets and stay seated. Plan with plenty of time for going through locks and be patient with the process.
The lock system connecting the north and south chain of lakes began construction and installation in 2005. The lock system is managed by the Lake Region Lakes Management District. The lock system connecting the north and south chain of lakes began service in 2011. The locks link Lakes Hartridge on the south chain and Lake Conine on the north chain. This local map shows the location of the locks. The locks are open to the public and operate from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
Alright, locks doors coming down, do not enter. You can see the flashing red lights, so you're gonna have to wait. Alright, we come up to the lock, and the people who left the lock door open, so we're gonna have to close that. Alright, lights start, and then that lock door should start closing. And the lock door starts closing. Alright, this lock door just opened, so this water is now coming from here and dumping into the lock to raise that level. Alright, gate door just went up a little bit more. You can see the lock filling up. That sign right there says door will not move if boat is beyond this point, because it has these arms. It's supposed to come down to prevent boats from going in there, but these don't work. Alright, water's almost equalized, so now the lock door is completely opening. Alright, now we're going into the lock. Make sure you put your awning or your top down, your bimini top. So as you can see, about 4 foot lower down there. You're going to come up here to this side once you get in and hit that button. Just do you. Alright, once you're in the lock, hit the button, and then you're going to watch, and this lock door will start lowering. And there's the lock door starting to go down. Alright. Entry lock just closed, and exit lock door opens a crack. Start letting the water funnel out underneath the door. And we're going to start dropping this level. Alright, into down 3.5 feet or so. Lock door is completely opening now. You got these ropes here you can hold on to while the lot's filling or emptying. And now we're casting off to get ready to go through. Okay, going through the lock, getting dripped on. If nobody is behind you, do a courtesy and hit that button when you get through. That'll close the lock door for the next people. And now it's on to Lake Conine. It's not Connie, it's Conine. Alright, if you look at the color difference, the south chain is kind of a lighter blue, the north chain is a darker blue, and right there's the transition. We're now in the north chain of lakes in Lake Conine. Coming from the low side, go ahead and push the button. Now we're coming up. Entry gate just closed. And now the exit gate. And the water rushes in and raising us up to 3.5 feet. While you're waiting, you just hold on to the ropes. One right there, and one back there, or else the current will take you away. So you can see we're about 2.5, maybe 3 foot higher right now. Now the door, lock door is completely opening. Water's still coming in to equalize the levels. Once the levels equalize, then the lock door opens, motor on through, and you're on the next lake.
Hold. I'd put the rope right here so you can control the boat. Push the button. They have blue ropes hanging so that you can grab those and hold control of the boat. And first click forward. This is where you need to keep control of the boat because the water is lowering, so it's going to want to pull the boat to the lock. And then you hit the other button.
Let's take a look at the many locks and dams throughout Florida. What we've learned today is that locks are watertight chambers with gates at each end. They raise and lower vessels from one water level to the next. When a dam also includes locks, navigation is possible beyond the dam. Many boaters find locking through a pleasant experience and part of the adventure of boating. The nearly 12,000 miles of U.S. inland and intracoastal waterways are maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers and includes 191 commercially active lock sites with 237 lock chambers. Here is some additional information that is specific to the state of Florida. Navigation locks are throughout the interconnected system of the Kissimmee chain of lakes, the Kissimmee River, and Lake Okeechobee in Central and South Florida, and it is accessible by the public for recreation. Along the route, there are 11 locks maintained by the South Florida Water Management District, and 5 are maintained by the United States Army Corps of Engineers. Thanks everyone for joining me in today's training. I hope you enjoyed learning about lock systems and how to navigate safely through the Winter Haven Lock. Explore new places, create new adventures, and always boat safe and have fun.